Hello, my dear friend. Today you and I will talk about diesel or gasoline. Who is better, stronger, and what would you choose? Or, what would I choose? Believe me, after this video, you will have a million questions and your own ideas. Write comments, let's have a small discussion. Your opinion is very important to me. And right now, write which city and country you're watching me from, whether you drive diesel or gasoline, and what you personally prefer. Write it down, and we begin. The war of engines that no one talks about. Imagine a typical evening in a garage. The smell of oil, gasoline, maybe a bit of beer, and truth. It's here, among tools and spare parts, that the most honest conversations about cars are born. And one of the hottest debates that hasn't died down for over 100 years is the argument between gasoline and diesel fans. People often ask me, which one is better? Be honest, I always answer, because I'm not some frozen guy who sees the world in black and white. Life is shades of gray, usually compromise and choice based on specific tasks. But today, right here and now, we'll talk about situations when the diesel engine isn't just good, it is better than gasoline. When it shows itself as a true titan, an unnoticed, silent workhorse on whose shoulders half of the world's cargo turnover and the freedom of thousands of travelers rely. Today we'll break down 5 reasons, 5 pillars on which stands the unshakable confidence that in its niche, the diesel engine simply buries its gasoline brother. These are not baseless screams of a fanatic, but a cold, balanced analysis backed by physics, history, and economics. We'll try to slightly flip your understanding of engines. But first, a small historical excursion to understand where we are and where we came from. 2 paths, 2 philosophies. The end of the 19th century. The world is on the threshold of a technological revolution. Ideas of self-propelled carriages hover in the air, and 2 German engineers, almost unaware of each other, turn the world upside down. On one side, Karl Benz, his patent No. 37435, issued in January 1886, marked the birth of the world's first automobile with a gasoline internal combustion engine. Benz's engine worked on the principle later called the Otto cycle. Create a mixture of gasoline and air, compress it, and ignite it with an electric spark. Fast, efficient, high revving, the perfect technology for a new, dynamic era. On the other side, Rudolf Diesel. His path was different. He was obsessed with efficiency. He saw steam engines waste up to 90% of energy and wanted a rational thermal engine. His idea was simple and genius. Compress air so strongly that it heats above the ignition temperature of fuel, then inject fuel so that it ignites on contact with the hot air. No spark plugs, no electric ignition, only physics and chemistry. Diesel's patent came in 1893, and the first working engine appeared in 1897. And from the very beginning, a gap formed between these 2 concepts. The gasoline engine became the engine for aristocrats, for racing, for speed. It was lighter, easier to handle at the time, and allowed more power. The diesel engine became the engine of industry. Tankers, locomotives, power stations, trucks. Heavy, noisy, smelly, but incredibly economical and reliable. It didn't chase speed, it conquered with overwhelming strength. And this difference in their DNA, laid back in the 19th century, follows them to this day. Gasoline is passion and speed. Diesel is work and endurance. But what happens when technology erases boundaries? When diesel becomes quiet and gasoline engines become extremely complex? Let's find out. Reason 1, its majesty torque, or why pulling power decides everything. This is not just a reason, it's the alpha and omega of diesel, its main card. If you understand this, you understand everything. Let's break down the physics. Imagine 2 ways to hammer a nail. The gasoline way, you take a light slipper and start tapping rapidly, 10, 20, 30, 50 hits. The nail goes in but slowly. Your strength is in speed. But try hammering a giant spike into concrete, your light taps will bounce off. You lack pressure. Diesel way. You take a heavy sledgehammer, swing slowly, boom, and the nail goes in immediately. Your strength is in massive force, not speed. The same happens inside engines. In a gasoline engine working on the Otto cycle, the mixture is sparked explosively. To get many such pushes per second, it must rev to 7,000 RPM. All its power lives high in revs. In a diesel engine, air is compressed far more strongly, 1.52 times more heating, to 700–900 degrees Celsius. Then diesel fuel is injected into the hot air. It doesn't explode, it burns gradually and pushes the piston with strong, steady force through the entire power stroke. That's why diesel gives you torque from the bottom. You sit behind the wheel of a diesel SUV, you accelerate to 40 kilometers per hour, while revs barely reach 1,500. You start overtaking a truck uphill, no need to downshift. You simply press the pedal a bit more, and magic happens. The car accelerates with calm, unstoppable strength, as if pushed by a giant's hand. It feels like an electric motor under the hood, torque everywhere, always. But in a gasoline car, same hill, same weight, it starts screaming. Revs climb to 4,000–5,000, the engine yells, and you think, will it handle this? I once drove a diesel crossover through mountain serpentines, fully loaded with 4 people and luggage. And I realized I barely touched the gearbox. Diesel handled everything. It just pulled. This is not a characteristic, it's a philosophy. Reason 2. The legend of the million-kilometer engine. Modern diesels are often criticized. 1 injector replacement, goodbye savings. But people confuse the engine's heart with its peripherals. Yes, common rail systems, injectors, high-pressure pumps, and DPF filters are expensive. That's the price for ecology and efficiency. But look inside the engine, the cylinder, piston group, and crank mechanism. Why is diesel metal the standard of strength? Because compression ratios are 10–12 1-inch gas engines and 16–22 1-inch diesels. Peak pressure in turbo diesels reaches 150–200 bars versus to 100 bars in gasoline. So diesels are built like tanks. Cast iron blocks, massive pistons with cooling, forged rods, forged crankshafts. Meanwhile, modern, downsized gasoline engines, tiny 1-liter turbo units, making 120–150 HP, are thin and overstressed. Their lifespan is not a priority. Verdict: diesel internals, with proper care, easily last 500,000–600,000 kilometers. 1,000,000 kilometers is normal for many older diesels. Gasoline turbo engines often need major repairs at 200,000 kilometers. Buying a used car? 2 crossovers, same year, same mileage, gasoline at 200K, maybe near the end, while diesel is just getting started. Reason 3. Efficiency and range. Diesel has 50–55% thermal efficiency versus 40% for the best gasoline engines. Diesel fuel has 10–15% more energy per liter. Diesel SUVs consume 30–40% less fuel. A diesel Touareg with a 90-liter tank can travel 900 and 1,200 kilometers per tank. You can drive from Berlin to Geneva almost without refueling. That's freedom. Reason 4. Winter issues, myth versus reality. Modern diesel fuel plus antigel solve the freezing problem. Glow plugs and good batteries solve cold starts down to 30 degrees Celsius. Diesel warms slowly, that's its weakness, but it led to mass use of Webasto heaters. And a diesel with Webasto gives better winter comfort and engine longevity than a gasoline car idling 20 minutes to warm up. Diesel isn't capricious, it needs a smart approach. Reason 5. Versatility and tuning potential. Modern drivers want everything at once. Gasoline engines use complex systems to keep up variable valves, multiple turbos, etc. Diesels naturally combine torque, economy, and strength, and have huge tuning potential. No detonation, massive strength margin, conservative factory settings, Stage 1 tuning gives plus 20-25% power and plus 25-35% torque, with no harm. Tuning gasoline is like overclocking a CPU. Risky, overheating, unstable. Tuning diesel is flipping the hidden turbo switch the manufacturer locked away. That's why you see Diesel, VW or Skoda making 500 HP and burning rubber. It's just engineering potential unleashed. So who is right? After all this, I could become a diesel worshipper. But no. Diesel is a professional tool for specific tasks. It's for those who drive big, heavy cars, travel long distances, value torque, and are ready for thoughtful maintenance. With good care, diesel is more reliable and durable than many modern gasoline engines, full of compromises, especially from certain manufacturers. When choosing a car, think logically. Ask yourself, what do I need the car for? What will I do with it? If your needs match diesel's strengths, choose it confidently. You'll get an engine with character, history, massive durability, and that magical torque that makes you fall in love from the first turn of the key. Good luck on the road. The right choice is the one based on knowledge, not myths. Our breakdown has come to an end. I hope it was useful and made you think. Now it's your turn. Write in the comments about your diesel experience. Do you agree with my arguments or want to challenge them? Let's discuss. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. More comparisons, tests, and reviews are coming. Thanks for being with me. Wishing you the best of luck.